what we got today, Tim? Garlic, COVID-19, and all the problems and cures that we could possibly discuss to start with. I've got some news a little bit later on, and then we'll finish up with something that you've got.
Okay, buddy. That sounds good. Yeah, I mean, the mainstream has been, you know, forever been promoting the COVID-19 vaccine as the remedy for COVID, and it's been pushing it on the public. And the stats show that the unvaccinated have a very low cancer rate of 0.85%, but the vaccinated have a cancer incidence rate that's significantly higher than the unvaccinated population. Um, uh, for general cancers, I believe it's been estimated to be 1.85% or something. So it's significantly higher than the unvaccinated population. And in addition, there's also autoimmune diseases that are being caused by the mRNA, the COVID mRNA vaccines. And the spike protein is the reason, because the mRNA vaccine programs the cells to produce spike proteins, which end up flooding the bloodstream and going throughout the body, and they keep manufacturing these spike proteins ostensibly because it's supposed to help the immune system defend against the spike proteins on the virus. But the spike proteins themselves have become bioweapons, and essentially they just lodge themselves in healthy tissue of the heart, the lungs, the various organs, including the brain, and it's causing the immune response to have the antibodies going to the site of the spike proteins, and when they're attacking the spike proteins, that area becomes inflamed, whether it's the arterial walls of the arteries where the spike proteins have embedded themselves, which is causing blood clots, or whether it's the spike proteins that have embedded themselves in the healthy tissue of the heart. They go there and they attack the spike proteins, and that area of the heart becomes inflamed, and it's causing myocarditis. And the same problem exists with the lung tissue, and then indeed some of them embed themselves in the brain, and the same problem occurs with blood clotting in the brain, and you know that can cause strokes, right? And so this is a disaster, and the mRNA vaccine, which they say is safe, is clearly not safe because it's causing all these adverse reactions that it's killing people. And what we could alternatively use as a cure is garlic. If you cut garlic and you let it breathe for 20 minutes before you sprinkle it on your food, whatever it is that you're putting the garlic on, it releases this Allacin liquid from the garlic, which is extremely helpful from the standpoint of virus infections, and it was recently announced in Thailand medical news. In a surprising and potentially game-changing discovery, scientists in Canada have uncovered the fact that allicin, a sulfur-rich compound derived from crushed garlic, can significantly suppress the expression of the SARS-CoV-2 spike protein in human immune cells. This breakthrough adds to the growing list of health benefits attributed to garlic and suggests its possible role as a natural antiviral compound with relevance to COVID-19. Researchers from the Department of Biology and Health Science at Kwantlen Polytechnical University in British Columbia, Canada, conducted the study using human splenic fibroblasts. These immune-related cells were genetically engineered to produce the receptor-binding domain of the SARS-CoV-2 spike protein. The experiment introduced the spike gene into the cells along with a fluorescent tag to make protein expression visible under a microscope. This Thailand medical news report reveals that when the garlic compound Allacin was added to the cells, either before or after the genetic modification, there was a dramatic reduction in visible fluorescence, indicating that spike protein production had dropped sharply. Allacin's effects are powerful but safe. Unlike the vaccine, which has been found to be unsafe, even though the claim is that it's been tested and found safe, which is a lie. But then we know our governments lie to us all the time. What makes the findings even more encouraging is that the Allacin treatment did not harm the cells. Despite its powerful antiviral effect, the splenic fibroblasts maintain their normal shape, growth patterns, and viability. This is a crucial observation, as many drugs that affect viral mechanisms often damage the host cells in the process. At the tested concentration of 50 micrograms, Allacin was shown to be non-toxic, reinforcing its potential as a safe, natural compound for therapeutic exploration. The researchers used both pre-treatment and post-treatment approaches, exposing cells to Allacin either 30 minutes before or 6 hours after transfection with the spike gene. In both cases, spike protein expression plummeted from a 96% expression rate in untreated cells to just 4 to 7% in Allacin-treated cells. Mechanism still unknown, but effects are clear. While the exact mechanism remains unclear, scientists agree that Allacin could be interfering at the translation or protein synthesis level, possibly altering how the viral protein is built or promoting its breakdown. Allacin is known to react with sulfur-containing groups in proteins, which might destabilize or prevent the proper folding of the spike protein. This mode of action aligns with other findings showing Allacin's capacity to disrupt proteins from bacteria, fungi, and other viruses. Additionally, imaging analysis showed that in untreated cells, the spike protein accumulated near the nucleus, hinting at its active processing within the cellular machinery. However, in Allacin-treated cells, this signal was nearly extinguished, proving that Allacin blocks the production or accumulation of the spike protein. A natural tool in the COVID-19 fight. These findings come at a time when interest in alternative plant-based antivirals is resurging, especially compounds that can complement conventional drugs without harmful side effects. Allacin has long been recognized for its antibacterial, antifungal, anti-inflammatory, and antioxidant benefits, but its antiviral potential against COVID-19 had not been studied in this context before. Importantly, the study did not involve live SARS-CoV-2 virus, but rather used gene delivery systems and mimic spike protein expression in a safe laboratory setting. However, the results are strong foundational proof that Allacin could reduce the levels of viral proteins that may play a role not just in acute infection, but also in long COVID symptoms and other post-viral complications. Conclusions and future potential. The research presents compelling early evidence that allicin from garlic can powerfully suppress the spike proteins of SARS-CoV-2 in immune-related human cells without harming the cells themselves. This unique dual feature, efficacy without toxicity, positions allicin as a promising candidate for further exploration in antiviral therapy. Future studies will need to explore whether the same suppression occurs in real viral infections and whether allicin could be adapted into a treatment for acute COVID-19 or long COVID syndromes. Investigating its effects on full-length spike protein and extending the studies to animal models and clinical settings will be crucial steps going forward. Okay, so there you go, Andy. I think what's interesting is, when you think about garlic and all the myths and legends surrounding it, and its role in folklore over the centuries, how you hang garlic and it wards off evil if you hang it from the ceiling in your house, and its role in warding off such evils as vampires and all that. Well, I mean, these viruses and germ threats are parasites, and
well, they may not be vampires, but they're probably these viruses were probably sent by vampires.
Yeah, anyway, you get the idea. And so it does definitely ward off evil because of its impact on disease. And it's been used as a herbal medicine for hundreds of years. Obviously, now scientific clinical studies are showing why it is effective in the case of this one virus threat, because it's able to suppress the spike proteins, and this reduces the virus's ability to infect and infiltrate cells through the spike protein.
Yeah, I'd like to add a little bit.
Sure.
I don't think you've mentioned this because I was waiting for it to come. Yeah. It says in the news article, garlic extract, allicin, a possible inhalation therapy. So they're talking about using it with an inhaler or as an inhaled thing. So garlic has been used for millennia for the treatment of a variety of human diseases and metabolical disorders. However, a review of the scientific literature suggests it could also have value as an inhalation therapy. That actually makes sense. I think it makes sense. Yeah, just trying to work out, because garlic's very strong. Mm-hmm. I can't imagine physically doing that, but I don't know, maybe garlic capsules, and well, that's what we use at the moment. But it'd be good as a stick it in your inhaler and go, try and get rid of your respiratory problem.
Well, presumably in that context, it would also be an antihistamine, relieving relieving congestion in the sinuses and
That's it. I
clearing
point to
your
my nose. I know I suffer with that. In fact, maybe I should be using garlic. They give me modern medicine of mometasone furoate. I mean, it sounds like bleach, doesn't it? And you stick that up your, and you're okay. Anyway, a little bit of fun.
Well, we know about Coke nose. Let's just hope you don't get garlic nose.
Anything else you want to add to this little section?
Well, I mean, I think the role that alternative, so-called alternative medicine could play in this battle is being suppressed by the insistence on the mainstream media supporting the COVID vaccine narrative and suppressing all alternatives to that. We know that with the germ game that was held in October 2019, which was planned by the World Health Organization and Bill Gates being a member of the sorry, did I say World Health Organization? I'm sorry, I meant World Economic Forum. And Bill Gates being a member of the World Economic Forum, his foundation, the Bill Gates Foundation, was also a sponsor of this germ game that was held in October 2019. And in that germ game, they determined that the best way to control the narrative is to have the mainstream media flood the airwaves with their version of the narrative so that it would drown out all the alternative voices. And they thought that censorship was not the way to go. They just thought that overkill and inundating the public with their narrative would do the trick.
Yeah, I'm just bringing on screen. He's an English nurse. He was. He's a doctor as well. He didn't
I
practice.
listened to him this morning. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
very good.
he didn't practice as being a doctor, but he's got the doctor title. But he was a nurse in the NHS, and Dr. John Campbell in particular. I mean, look at these headlines here: unusual death cluster. And then there's that other good doctor in the background in the middle video. They're all basically on the same page, and the third video says it all really. Increased cancers after mRNA vaccines. I'm yet to pray. Well, no, I'm praying, but I'm yet to get his okay, I'll come on your show. But you know, he's a busy man, and like all busy men, he's probably getting his facts together all the time. So if he can't come on the show, I won't be upset. But he's an excellent source of information.
Yeah, he's a very good researcher, and he's got his stats, and he's clear on explaining them and why they're significant related to the cancer statistics on those who are unvaxxed versus those who've received the COVID vaccine. I was actually paraphrasing some of his comments at the start when I was talking about the negative impact of the vaccines, the COVID vaccines.
Yeah, he's really good. Hope he does come on.
Yeah. Okay. So let's move on to the next segment, Andy.
You're listening to Freedom Talk Radio with your host Andy Peacher, live from the UK. Email us freedomtalkradio2013@gmail.com or visit us at freedomtalkradioonline.com.